Continuing. And mentioned when we made the house, the Kaaba, a place of return for the people and a place of security. So Allah subhanahu is talking to Ibrahim alayhi salam and talking about the Kaaba, right? The Kaaba was the first place built for the worship of one God, which is in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Okay? Back in those times, Mecca was a part of Africa. It was all one piece of land, which we're going to get into later on. Okay? That's why I'm going through this history to let you know that the Arabs, they were African. The African Arabs. Okay, which we're going to get into. Okay, so Allah is speaking about the Kaaba and the place of security. And take, O believers, the standing place of Abraham, a place of prayer. So when people go make Hajj and they go back to the first house built, they go stand at a certain place where Abraham used to pray. And we charged Abraham and Ishmael, saying, purify my house. So we told Abraham and Ishmael, and we charged them to purify the house. So the first house that was built for the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was built by Abraham and his son Ismaaeel. I'm going to talk about Ismaaeel, who he came from, what he looked like, what his mama was, so forth and so on. So this is profound. When you understand that the first house that was built, which was the Kaaba, it was built by Abraham and his son, and I'm going to say the black son, in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, right? And they're the ones that purify the house. So when everybody goes back and does the Hajj and they do certain rites, it's because of Abraham, Hajar, which is an African woman. So Abraham had an African wife, and they had a son. His name was Ismaaeel. So there's a lot of things pertaining to the Hajj that dealt with these three people. Okay? And again, African lineage. The reason why I'm sharing this with you so that you can have motivation, understand that we didn't just get here. There were people that looked just like us that was always been here, been around the prophets. Prophets married African women, right? Not just Ibrahim alayhi salam, Dawood alayhi salam, David alayhi salam, Solomon alayhi salam, Yusuf alayhi salam, all of them married African women. Okay, we'll talk about that later on too, when we get into the Islamic African lineage, inshallah. Okay, so continuing. And mentioned when we made the house, the Kaaba, a place of return for the people and a place of security. And take, O believers, for the standing place of Abraham, a place of prayer. And we charged Abraham and Ismaaeel, saying, purify my house for those who perform tawaf. They go around it. And those who are staying there for worship, and those who bow and prostrate in prayer. And remember, when Abraham said, O my Lord, make this a secure city and provide its people with fruits. Whoever of them believes in Allah and the last day. Allah said, and whoever disbelieves, I will grant him enjoyment for a little bit. Then I will force him to the punishment of the fire, and wretched is the destination. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam, when Abraham and his son Ismaaeel, they were in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Okay? Because Ibrahim alayhi salam, they lived in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. When he was building this Kaaba, they made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, make this a secure city. Right? So Mecca, this is about the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam to make Mecca, Saudi Arabia, a secure city. That's why they call it the Haramain, the Haram, which means that it's secure, right? It's haram to do anything in that city. It's secure. You can't even carry guns in the city, right? You can't cut down trees in the city, okay? It's a secure city. And provide its people with fruits, right? This could mean fruits in a literal sense. It could also mean money. He made dua that Allah secure it, and he made dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless it with money and fruits. And we know that Saudi Arabia is one of the richest countries in the world, right? What type of fruit or what type of money do they got over there? Gold. They got that black gold, which is what? Oil, right? Oil. So out of all the people in the world, Allah blessed them with that oil all in the desert, right? So they're one of the richest countries in the world, right? Alhamdulillah. Continuing. And mentioned when Abraham was raising the foundations of the house, and with him was Ismaaeel. So who built the Kaaba? Ibrahim and Ismaaeel. Okay? So again, the establishment of the Kaaba, the establishment of Mecca, the establishment of the first house, the establishment of the Muslim nation. It started with Ismaaeel in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Okay? Again, we put emphasis on Ismaaeel and Islam because we don't really hear a lot about Ismaaeel. Right? And the reason why we don't hear about Ismaaeel is because, inshallah, we're going to get into it, he came from an African lineage. Understand that. He came from an African lineage, which we're going to get into real quick. But if you see this lineage, Hajar, who was the wife of Ibraaheem alayhi salam, they had a son, Ismaaeel alayhi salam. Going down this line came the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So thus, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came from a what lineage? African lineage. Right? That's why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, be kind to the blacks. This is a hadith. He said, be kind to the blacks because your mother Hajar is black. Right? Your father Ismaaeel alayhi salam, he's black. He's the father of the Arabs from an African lineage. Okay? Don't forget that. And again, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is to let you know we've already been here. Islam is not nothing new to us. Okay? We didn't just get here and we don't act like we don't belong here. We've been here. Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he had an African wife. Ismaaeel alayhi salam, he had an African wife, which we're going to get into, inshallah. Right? So if all of these prophets was having African wives, what their children look like. Okay. All right. Facts. And mentioned when Abraham was raising the foundations of the house with his son Ismaaeel alayhi salam. So they were building the Kaaba. Abraham and Ismaaeel, his African son, saying, our Lord, accept this from us. Indeed, you are the hearing, the knowing. Our Lord, make us Muslims. Okay. Again, this story is in chapter 2, verse 124 through 129. And our Lord, make us Muslims and from our descendants a Muslim nation in submission to you. So Ibraaheem alayhi salam, Abraham, and Ismaaeel alayhi salam, while they were building the Kaaba, they were both making dua to Allah. Oh Allah, accept this city. Oh Allah, make it secure. Oh Allah, bless it with fruits and wealth. Oh Allah, and make it a Muslim nation. Make us Muslims. And from our progeny, make them Muslims as well. Okay? So this dua in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, came from Ibraaheem alayhi salam and Ismaaeel alayhi salam. And understand who they were, what they looked like. Okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Ibraaheem alayhi salam and Ismaaeel alayhi salam said, while they're in Mecca building the house, they're still making dua. He said, our Lord, and send among them a messenger from themselves. Again, speaking in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Our Lord, and send among them our progeny from Ismaaeel alayhi salam. Send them from among them a messenger from themselves who will recite to them your verses and teach them the book and wisdom and purify them. Indeed, you are the exalted, might, and wise. Okay? So in this ayah, in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Ibraaheem alayhi salam and Ismaaeel alayhi salam, they would make a dua to Allah. They asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless them to be Muslim. They asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless from their progeny to be Muslims. And they also made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said from our progeny and from these people, from Ismaaeel alayhi salam, bless a messenger to come from this city who will recite to the people. Right? He will teach them the book, teach them the wisdom, and purify them. Right? So who was this prophet that they made dua to, or dua about, to come from this progeny or this lineage of Ismaaeel alayhi salam to be the prophet in Mecca, Saudi Arabia? Who was that prophet? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the dua of a prophet to come from Mecca, Saudi Arabia goes all the way back to Ibraaheem alayhi salam and the building of the first Kaaba. Okay? So this was something that was already destined. This was something that was already going to happen. Okay? So again, Ibraaheem, Ismaaeel, Hajar. Okay? So now let's go to the story. Let's talk about Ibraaheem alayhi salam. But before I do that, let me pass this out, inshallah. So we're talking about the history of the language, Ibraaheem, Hajar, Ismaaeel alayhi salam. We talked about chapter 2, verse 124 through 129. Right? All of this is on this paper. So the dalil is on here. Okay? So let's go to the story of Ibraaheem alayhi salam. We know that Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he lived in the land of Canaan. Right? In the land of Canaan. He had a wife. Her name was Sarah. Does anybody know the story about how he married Hajar and how she became his wife, how he had a second wife and what happened and how they were moved? I know you know. Okay? But we're going to act like don't nobody know. I'm going to go ahead and go through the story. Okay? So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had one wife. Her name was Sarah. Okay? After so many years of being with Sarah, she couldn't have any children. Okay? And in Islam, one of the reasons to take on another wife is if your wife cannot bear children. Because the whole purpose of getting married is to bear children, to procreate, right? To have children. So if you have a wife and for whatever reason she's not able to have children, then that will give you the rights, or those are one of the grounds to go ahead and get another wife, right? To procreate. Okay? So Sarah couldn't have any children. Okay? So Sarah offered Ibrahim alayhi salam Hajar to be his wife. Okay? Hajar to be his wife. And this story is also in the Bible, in the book of Genesis. Inshallah, we'll go through that another day. Inshallah. But the people of the Bible, they know this story as well too. So if they know the story too, why they don't talk to us about Ismaaeel alayhi salam? It's because he comes from an African lineage. That's the reality of the matter. It's an African lineage. It's a black lineage. Right? And people want to hide the truth. Okay? So Sarah, she gave Hajar to Ibrahim alayhi salam to be his second wife. So where did Hajar come from? She came from Egypt. She was a Cushite. She was black. She was from Africa. Okay? If we look on this map, inshallah, if you see this map on here, the Ham, right? This is parts of Africa. And Shem, right? This is the parts of Saudi Arabia. Okay? And Havila, all of this used to be part of the kingdom or the empire of Sheba, which we're going to get into in a minute when we talk about the Queen of Sheba or Bilqis. Okay? So, when Ibrahim alayhi salam, he married Hajar and she became pregnant. Okay? When she became pregnant, right, his first wife, although she was the one that gave him Hagar or Hajar to be his wife, this African wife, she became jealous. Okay, you know how women sometimes they go with something, one thing, and the next minute they're jealous because for whatever. Because now this woman is pregnant. Any man who now this is his first child, right? She becomes pregnant, so of course he's going to show her some type of affection, right? He's going to see, make sure, how you doing, feeling on her stomach, maybe treating her a different way. So now the first wife who's not pregnant, who's not getting the same attention, now she becomes some type of jealousy and envy and whatnot. That's just normal. Okay? So it even says in Hadith that Sarah even threatened to cut the belly of Hajar. Okay? She said, I'm going to kill you and kill the baby and cut your belly. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was told to separate them. Okay? He was told to separate them. So alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, Hajar, she had the baby. Right? And they named him Ismaaeel alayhi salam. And Ismaaeel comes from the word Simi'a Allah. Like Sami'a, right? As-Sami'a, Ismaaeel. Okay? Let me show you. Since this is the advanced class. We have the word Ismaaeel. Right? Ismaaeel. Okay, Ismaaeel, right? Ismaaeel. Okay, actually, it's a mad on the meme because that's long. Ismaaeel, Ismaaeel, Ismaaeel. Okay, this is a lamb. Okay, Ismaaeel. So the word Ismaaeel has the root word, because every word has 3 letters as a root, right? Ismaaeel has Sin, Mim, Ain. Ismaaeel, okay? Sin, Mim, Ain, right? Y'all just learned that word, the 26th word, right? As-Sami'o, As-Sami'o, right? As-Sami'o. What you have? Sin, Mim, Ain. Sin, Mim, Ain. Sin, Mim, Ain. Ismaaeel as-Sami', right? Or like even when we say Sami Allah, right? It means to hear, right? So the word Ismaaeel means God heard, right? We're told that the Il, right, in the Hebrew means God, El or Elohim or El, right? So it means that God heard, right? God heard. Ismaaeel is like a Hebrew word, right? The Il means God, right? So God heard. God heard what? It said that God heard Hagar's cries. He heard her sorrow. He heard her pain, right? Because she was being persecuted. She was being oppressed by her first wife, right? So God heard her prayers. So they named the son Ismaaeel, meaning God heard. God heard her prayers. Okay? Ismaaeel as-Sami', right? These words, these three letters, right? The root words, you can tell what it's talking about. Okay? Just like if you take three letters and change them different ways, Muslim, Muslimun, Muslimat, they all have the same three-letter root. Okay? So Ismaaeel means God heard. So alhamdulillah, they had Ismaaeel alayhi salam. Okay? And Allah commanded Ibrahim alayhi salam to move Hajar and Ismaaeel alayhi salam away from Sarah. And so he moved them all the way from the land of Canaan. Okay? And the land of Canaan, and he moved them all the way to Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Okay? The land of Canaan is modern-day Palestine. Okay? So they lived in the land of Canaan, which is Palestine, and moved them all the way to Mecca, Saudi Arabia. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam, he left them there. Ismaaeel alayhi salam was still a young baby. Okay? And it said that Ibrahim alayhi salam left them with a little bit of water and a little bit of dates. He dropped them off and he took off and started walking back to the land of Canaan, or the land of Palestine. So when he started walking away, Hagar, or Hajar, she started crying out to them, "Why are you leaving us here? Did Allah, why are we leaving us here? Why are you leaving us here?" Right? She kept on asking, "Why are you leaving us here?" Then she asked him, "Did Allah command you to leave us here?" And then he turned around and said, "Yes, Allah commanded me to leave you here." And then she said, "Okay, then I submit to that." Okay? And so Ibrahim alayhi salam, he left. This was another test to leave his wife, his child. This was his firstborn child. That's one. You got a question?
A question.
Yes.
How do Allah be talking to, how?
Well, Allah sends messengers to talk to the prophets. He also sends wahyi. Wahyi means a revelation. It could be through the angel Gabriel, right? It could also be through dreams, right? So the prophet can have a dream, right? It could also be through angels that come, or also, as the Prophet Muhammad said, sometimes his revelation would come like the ringing of a bell. Allah would inspire him. Okay? So Ibrahim alayhi salam, either Allah would talk to him through inspiration, talk to him through a dream. Just like at the time when he was told to kill his son Ismaaeel alayhi salam, he was given a dream to do this. Okay? He was given a dream. Okay? Or he could send angels, just like he sent the angels to Lot and told him what Allah said. Okay? Just like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How did he find out revelation? Through who?
Angel Gabriel.
The angel Gabriel. So the same angel Gabriel that came to Prophet Muhammad, the same angel Gabriel that came to Jesus, the same angel Gabriel that came to Moses, right? Because he's called the angel of revelation. He's the one that brings down the revelations. Jibril alayhi salam. Okay?